All right then. So I apologise to my handful of regular followers for this pain in the neck, but I'm going to have to read it out loud because I think a video without audio will completely discombobulate the AI snoops on YouTube. So here goes, and obviously, if you've seen it before, you can jump forward, and even if you haven't seen it before and you can't be bothered with it, you can also just jump ahead. Anyway, here goes. Now that Vegas Matt has set the YouTube AI minions on me, I feel obliged to make it crystal clear at the start of every video that I'm not suggesting that pattern betting is unbeatable. There is also no question of me promoting, selling, touting, shilling, or otherwise hawking a fake and useless strategy that's easily disproved by mathematical analysis. That's what this interminable series of demos is all about. I play popular casino table games in real time and explain every pattern betting move round by round, and I leave it to all of you to take it or leave it. I guess if I were throwing away real money recklessly and irresponsibly and relentlessly peddling self-harm and misery, YouTube would be cool with that and leave me alone. The truth is that losing is not fun, as the professional losers with exciting YouTube channels would have you believe, unless, of course, your losses are more than covered by an avalanche of big fat Google checks every month. I've spent decades online shouting out the simple message that if you bet randomly and impulsively, especially with encouragement from complimentary cocktails, you will go broke. The issue I have with gambling, based upon half a lifetime of in-casino experience, is that a high percentage of punters are betting with money that's not entirely theirs. Dependents who may be unaware that family money is at risk are victims of what can be described as second-hand gambling, and it can be as dangerous a health hazard as second-hand smoking. I'm not a Puritan or a killjoy, but I do take exception to shills who revel in their idiocy at casino games, knowing that unlike their thousands of breathless fans, they will get their money back when they lose. Casinos go to a great deal of trouble and expense to remind us that house games are unbeatable and that all a punter can hope for is that luck allows him or her to make a little money before giving it back. And while they frequently warn against the hazards of progressive betting and have their YouTube shills constantly repeat that message, they put table limits in place precisely to stymie progressive betting. It is for sure impossible to beat negative expectation games without a consistent, disciplined betting strategy and a very large bankroll. And even if a player meets both of those qualifications, very few can match the resources of the casino when it comes to weathering an extended run of bad luck. Pattern betting is not a guaranteed winner, as I have said ad nauseum throughout my many years online, but it is measurably more effective than the self-destructive behavior professional losers exhibit to make their channels more interesting and therefore more profitable. In other words, play like Vegas Matt and kiss your money goodbye, just like he does, until the Google checks and sponsorship deals and merch sales refill the pot to overflowing. All right, and so a little bit of a milestone today. Excuse me. I've been tracking Vegas Matt's shorts for 6 months, almost to the day, and we've racked up 150 bets, shy of 180, which is what you'd expect for 6 months. But there are some things that I don't mess with. He strays off into areas sometimes where I'm not entirely comfortable. And I must admit that Texas Hold'em is one of those, but I occasionally I sort of think, okay, well, he won a good bit there, so I really should add that to be kind, and so I let it in. But anyway, the upshot of all of this is that in 150 bets, he's won 71 and lost 68. But he's still in the hole to the tune of about $17,000 because he doesn't use any kind of money management method or well, anything other than just pure random betting, basically. So his average loss is bigger than his average win, and that never works. It's even though he's got a win over loss advantage here, a player advantage, a player edge, if you like, of 2.2%. He's actually 2.9% down versus the house. So, these are all numbers that lots of people dismiss as being completely irrelevant and boring and killjoy and unfun and whatever. But the reality of the situation with Vegas Matt, leaving aside the fact that he just a few days ago dobbed me into the barking AI dogs at YouTube for a ridiculously minor copyright infraction, but whatever. So I got a strike, and they took down various videos. But leaving all that aside, I'm going to try and go high and forget about that. The truth of the matter is that in all of these situations, whether it's Vegas Matt or whether any of the other people that I sometimes track and do comparisons with, it's their money. They can do what they want. The problem that I have with them is quite simply that I feel that since they've have carved themselves out a very comfortable, very lucrative public spotlight place, they really, Vegas Matt in particular, should try harder to bet sensibly and to set an example for the audience. He might argue that what he has to do is provide drama and excitement, so he's all over the place, and that's good for people who don't want to see somebody betting boringly. I actually believe that if he bet to win, and if he made a serious effort to manage money better, I think his audience would get more of a kick out of what he's doing. But he would probably argue with that, and he's in charge of his own destiny, just as I'm in charge of mine. And all of the people who watch him, every right to absolutely lap it up, say how wonderful he is, and all the rest of it. Personally, I think that all of these shills on YouTube are a public nuisance because they are encouraging people to self-harm. They are displaying reckless, irresponsible, downright stupid betting behavior, and I think that that's a bad thing. But I have no say in these matters, and so I just try and demonstrate that the outcomes that beat Vegas Matt and his ilk can be easily beaten by pattern betting, which is basically just a money management method. It's a very simple, very controlled form of progressive betting, and it just works, Let's go up to the very top here, move over to the charts, which tell quite an interesting story. And you can see right now here is Vegas Matt, 16,705 down. I'm Algy, whatever you want to call the pattern betting thing, is up 52,000. Action for Matt is almost double pattern bettings. He's at minus 2.9% of his loss is 2.9% of his total action. Mine is 16% of total action. And if pattern betting's result were to be adjusted to match Vegas Matt's pretty hefty bet sizes, then the win would increase to 94,321. Let's never forget the one. Another thing that's important, in my opinion, I respectfully suggest that it's worth paying attention to, is that these horizontal green lines, as always, mean okay. They mean a turnaround. I mean, in the hole, out of the hole. And there are a lot more of them in the Algy column. I mean, like a lot more. Certainly more than 16. That's a boo-boo on my part. Okay, apologies. Yeah, a little bit of an interruption there. I was talking about OKs, which is the horizontal green lines. That means turnarounds. That means that we're up to the the best possible place that we could be at. And you'll see that on the pattern betting side, they just go on and on and on. There are 37 of them. The average is pretty high. But of course, because of Matt's bet spreads, I've got a 600 minimum, which is way above what I would normally do. But that's his smallest bet. So I thought, okay, the fair thing to do is to start with Matt's minimum and play with that. His biggest wager is 9,300, so I don't go higher than that in this particular example. And what I was trying to say before I was interrupted, busy life like yours, I think it's important for me to take verifiable results, which anybody can go and check against my work, and see the difference between the way that these guys bet and lose and the way I bet and win against exactly the same outcomes. I think that is valuable. Lots of people apparently disagree because my audience is a tiny fraction of Matt's, and I don't in any way hold that against him. I just feel that he is essentially being manipulative, not entirely honest, because he is a very experienced gambler. He's been doing it for years, and yet somehow every day he plays as if it's his first day. And it seems to me there's a high likelihood that that is part of his deal with the casinos that welcome him, that host him, sponsor him, back him, encourage him, do all the various things that they do. And it is certainly true that casinos hate progressive betting. They use the martingale as a perfect, to them, example of idiotic progressive betting. I agree with them, but progressive betting is not a martingale, trust me. Pattern betting is progressive betting. It is not a martingale. It may double up repeatedly under very strict rules, but it is not a martingale. The casinos are extraordinary in their deception because they talk about progressive betting being dangerous, suicidal, stupid, dumb, bound to fail, blah, 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 blah. And then they prove just how scared they are of progressive betting by putting in table limits so that, you will find the table minimum $25, table maximum $1,000. And what they assume is that anybody who keeps doubling up and gets to 1,000 won't leave the table and go to a higher limit table. No, they will stay at that table, keep getting beaten, betting at the max. And of course, that's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, that's what they believe. So just to sort of summarize here, I showed you the charts. I showed you various bits and pieces. I don't think that it would be fair for Vegas Matt to take another poke at me via YouTube and accuse me of copyright infringement, because, when you set yourself up as a role model, which is what he is, whether he likes it or not, then you must expect to get some blowback from people who know more than you do about how to win at casino games of chance. And you will have seen, hopefully, or maybe just skipped over, but in every video now I put in a disclaimer which is long-winded but very precise about exactly where I am with pattern betting. It is real, it does work, but I have never suggested that it works all the time. And the most important thing is you cannot beat these games with a huge amount of money unless you have a proven, reliable betting strategy in which you have complete confidence And the flip side of that is that if you have a brilliant betting strategy, such as pattern betting, and no money, you'll still lose everything. So, that's the thing. It's frustrating for me watching these guys like Vegas Matt because they have all the money in the world. What they don't remind you of often enough is they can afford to lose the tens of thousands that they flush down the toilet because they have a big, big safety net, courtesy of Google, and all the other benefits that they get from casino sponsorships to online, online gambling sites that pay them to promote them, merchandise sales, and all those kind of things that you folks don't have. I don't have them either. So that's the big difference. But anyway, that's the end of that. Now going over to another Vegas Matt thing. He is doing very nicely against pattern betting currently because this has been going on now for 644 rounds, and miraculously he's the flat AV, which is actual value, which means just the number of winning bets that he's had versus the number of losing bets that he's had. He has miraculously managed to luck into a 7.5% player edge. Pretty hard to lose against that. So, of course, pattern betting doesn't lose. It wins 32,550. And of course, Vegas Matt doesn't lose either. Look at this. This is what his winnings look like. This is the actual value. This is wins versus losses, and as you can see, it paints a picture that you're very unlikely to see in your experience in casinos. Up, 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 not up all the time. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Well, you can see it right there. This is win-loss patterns, and this is what pattern betting is all about. Pattern betting is about riding out these nasty downturns and turning around as quickly as possible, like in these little areas here, just one or two winning bets, and up you go into profit. But you don't do it haphazardly. You don't do it by betting randomly the way that Vegas Matt and his merry men do. You do it with science, with patience, discipline, sobriety, confidence, and a shitload of money behind you. So that's what that's about. Lots and lots of horizontal green lines here for pattern betting. 109 turnarounds in total, right? All the way down to the bottom line there. Go down to Vegas Matt's action. Yeah, he's 61,000 ahead, 10.9% hold of his total action. But his action, of course, is enormously greater than mine, 3 times damn near. If pattern betting's win were to be adjusted to match his action, then I'd be at 83,400 ahead versus his 61,100. He's got a better win against exposure than me because his exposure was slightly less, 5,800 versus 7,400. His bet spreads are lower, 53 to 1, 95 to 5,000. Against mine, 25 to 9,500. Average bet, he's doing pretty well. His average win over his average loss is 24%, 124%. Algy's, which is, of course, the algorithm, the pattern betting algorithm, is 142%. So, that's a noticeable difference. But thing to look out for here is, look at this. Turnarounds, 100 and whatever I just said, 109 for pattern betting, 18 for Vegas Matt. So that suggests to me, and you can agree or not, that's up to you, but that suggests to me that his method may not be that great. And if you look here, line 589, or bet, not 589, it's 582, I think. a double down win was his last turnaround. Okay, 64,458, and since then he's been struggling. And the thing with all of these guys is they go up to the table each time as if they had no losses prior to that. Today at the races, it's like, it's the first day, and they behave as if they've never played the game before. And it's extraordinary to watch them. To watch WBG, for instance, probably the most entertaining, actually, of the Vegas Matt group, and the most intelligent, it seems. But I mean, he is a seasoned gambler, and yet there he is at the table, sort of saying, "Well, should I double down here? Can I split these? Is it okay to double? Do you think I should bet a bit more?" And it's sort of like, "Oh, come on, man!" And he knows better than to back baccarat all the time, but he lets it ride because it's not his show. It's Vegas Matt's. And that's basically how it is. Sorry, I'm just putting a line under here, and I don't know why I'm doing it while you're watching. That's really quite rude of me, but now I'm in it, so I've got to do it, haven't I? I just like to put a line under each session so that I can then put a link. And if anybody asks me nicely, I'll provide all the links to the various different Vegas Matt things. But just to summarize, Vegas Matt, who has dogged me into the nasties at YouTube and has initiated the removal of some of my stuff. Not all of it anything to do with him, but of course, once you set the ball rolling with AI and YouTube, then it starts sniffing around in a way that it wouldn't otherwise. So I think it's quite probable that the content that was taken down will be put back, except for the one that Vegas Matt complained about. And the thing that gets me is it was from last December, and it was perfectly innocent. It was just me saying, "Hey, this is these guys speeded up, and this is what they did, and this is what was wrong with it, and here are the bets the way that I did it." And I think that's fair play. He doesn't. So there we have it. I think it was small and nasty, but he would disagree with that too. And of course, his breathless fans in their millions, is it shillions, would back him to the hilt, I have no doubt. Anyway, that's it for now. See you next time.